Hey guys, I've had a few of you asking about how to make this sleep cream, and instead of writing out directions, I'm gonna make it today because I need some for some other customers, and that way you'll be able to see exactly how it's done. So I will start making it. I am gonna double my batch, so you'll only use half of what I'm using, and I'll post the ingredients and how much you need in the comments. So let's get started. Okay guys, here's what we need. Organic coconut oil. It doesn't have to be organic, but virgin coconut oil, the kind that does not liquefy, it stays solid. And shea butter. I buy this at my local organic store. If you're close to me, it's Rare Earth Goods. If not, then you can look it up. You can also probably get it on Amazon. So you're going to need that. I'm going to double mine. So this shea butter, we're going to use 2 cups instead of 1 cup. And I have it pre-measured already. And then the organic coconut oil, we're gonna need 1 cup instead of a half cup. And I also have that already pre-measured. And we're gonna put it into this metal bowl because we're gonna make it into a double broiler. I don't have a double broiler, so I use a saucepan with about 2 inches of water. And then I put the metal pan over it and put the coconut oil and the shea butter into that pan so that it will melt completely. So just turn your pan up to high and you'll set your bowl on top of that. So I'm going to have some help here to be able to put this in, and I'll show you what I do. Alright, so this is the coconut oil. We're gonna, like I said, we're going to double it. So this is a half cup and a half cup. And then the shea butter, we need a cup, so I'm going to double it. I'm going to use 2 cups. And this is going to make a lot of cream, but I want some for myself, and I have people that I need to give it to today, so. All right, so we're going to take this over to the stove. And I should have already turned this on. So this is how much water I put in there. Just a couple inches in the bottom of a saucepan. If you have a double broiler, use that. But if not, use this makeshift one. And then I set the metal bowl on top. And we're going to melt all of this down so that it is a liquid. That looks like a lot. I might have sleep cream coming out of my ears. So we're going to wait for that to heat back up, and we're going to get it to melt down. We want to melt it completely. Alright, so this is what this looks like. You can see it's starting to melt down. The coconut oil will melt right away, but the shea butter takes a little bit because it's chunkier. So it's getting closer. You can hear the water is just boiling away in the pan, but it doesn't like boil over or anything. And I just move it around a little bit to keep it breaking up, and this will get to a complete liquid form, and then we'll take it off the heat. Okay, as you can see, this is completely melted. That took about 5 minutes. It goes really fast. So we are going to take this off and use a hot pad because that bowl is going to be scorching hot. And I always transfer mine into another bowl to let it cool for a little bit because this metal pan will take forever for it to cool the liquid. So I just pour it into another bowl. I prefer glass or like a ceramic bowl and not plastic. And then we are just going to let that sit. It usually takes about 15 minutes just to cool off. You don't want to cool it so that it's starting to get hard again because it's got coconut oil. So coconut oil, if it gets cold, will solidify again. So you don't want to cool it that long. So just let it cool for a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely cool, but you don't want it really hot. And then we will come back and add our essential oils and our almond oil. and then we will be able to stick it into the freezer. Okay, so this is cooled enough. It's been about 10 minutes. I just stick my finger in it and check it. It's not cold, but it's not hot anymore, so it's just barely lukewarm. So we're going to add our almond oil. I use this one. I haven't seen it at Walmart, but I got this at the co-op, so you can get it there. It calls for a half a cup, but we're going to double it, so we're going to put a cup. There's a half. And a cup. If you don't have the sweet almond oil, you can use a different oil. I've used avocado oil. I've used, I think once I used grapeseed oil. And I think jojoba oil I've used. But sweet almond is what the recipe calls for, and I happen to have it. So, and then we're going to use Young Living cedarwood. We need 8 drops, so we'll do 16. All right, and we need Valor, so we have Young Living Valor, and that's also 8 drops, so 16. And Young Living Peace and Calming. This one is Peace and Calming. There's also a Peace and Calming 2. You can use either one, Peace and Calming or Peace and Calming 2. This calls for 8 drops, so I'm going to use 16, and we're getting towards the end of this bottle. So I got 9 drops out of it, and we'll open the other one. If you notice, the color of that one was different between the 2 bottles. The normal Peace and Calming is like a darker bluish color, and then the Peace and Calming 2 is a more of a clearish yellowish color. And then Young Living Lavender, 8 drops, so we'll use 16. I think that's 16. All right, so just those 4 oils, and then we have the cup of almond oil that we put in. And then I just stir that up a little bit so it mixes up. Oh, that's going to make a lot of sleep cream. It's all right. I'll sleep a long time. All right. And this is the longest part. We take this over and stick it in the freezer. And we want to freeze it until it starts to get hard. Usually I'll check it partway through, and I will mix it up a little bit, like just take the stuff off all sides. I'll show you how to do that, and then let it freeze for a little bit longer. So, oh, and actually, what I forgot is I usually put it back into the metal bowl because it gets cold faster, because just like the metal pan stays hot, it also gets cold faster and then makes it cold faster. So let's do that again. So into the freezer, and we'll let that set, and I'll be back when it's ready. Okay, so I'm taking this out of the freezer, and this is what it looks like. And we're going to see underneath here, it's still liquid. That's what I usually do. It's kind of hard to do by myself, but I usually break this up a little bit. You can see it's starting to get thicker. Come on. And then I just pop it back in the freezer for a little bit. It has been about a half hour. This will not normally take this long, but because this is a double batch, it's going to take longer. If you make a single batch, it won't take quite as long. So pop it back in the freezer and wait until the next time it solidifies a little bit, and it will be ready to throw in the mixer. Okay guys, so I took it out of the freezer and this is what it looks like. It's got some liquid in, but that's okay. It's still going to whip up nice. And so I'm going to scrape this out of the bowl and I'm going to put it into my my mixer with the whipper beater thing. I'm not a real good baker or anything, so I'm going to put it into here and then I will be back. Alright, so I have it in my bowl for my KitchenAid. I am going to start whipping it. Started off slow and then I just turn up the speed, and what you're going to do is you're going to turn it up to full speed with your whipper beater. If you don't have a KitchenAid, just use your hand mixer or whatever. Just you're going to want to mix it or whip it. And I turn it up to full blast and then I let it go. You're going to whip it for about 10 minutes so it gets that fluffy consistency. And then once it's whipped, I will come back and show you what it looks like. Alright, so it's done whipping. And this is the consistency of it. It almost looks like a big bowl of Cool Whip or whip topping. So I am going to take that, and I made these cute little labels. And this is an 8-ounce jar. And this is what, when people ask if they can buy some, this is what I give to them. So I'm going to fill 3 of those because I have 3 people that are looking for it today. And then this is one of the large mason jars. I'm not quite sure how many ounces it is. I'm thinking it's like 32 maybe or something. And I have a label on this, and this is the one that I keep my supply in so that when somebody needs some I can just put it into another jar. So I am going to fill all of these up, and then we will see the finished product. Alright, so here you have it. That double recipe made 3 8-ounce jars and this large, I'm guessing 32-ounce jar full of sleep cream. And since you only use about the size of like a nickel maybe on the bottom of each foot, you know that this stuff lasts a long time. So I hope that was helpful for you. It seems like it takes a long time, but it really doesn't. What I usually do is I'll do the boiling part of it and then let it cool for that few minutes, and when I stick it in the freezer, then I'll just go off and do something else, and check back periodically to make sure that it's not getting too hard. And then the whipping of it just takes 5 to 10 minutes. So it's really easy, and I made the sleep cream blend, but you can use that same coconut oil, shea butter, almond oil. You can use that same recipe for anything that you want to use a cream for. Just add whatever oils you want. So if you're looking for just like a body cream, you can add oils that are good for your body, like lavender, frankincense, any of those. If you're looking for something to help with like sore muscles, you can use Panaway, wintergreen, any of those kind of oils, peppermint. If you're looking for seasonal support for the sniffles and all that kind of stuff in the summer with all the pollen floating around, you can use lavender, lemon, and peppermint. And you can use pretty much anything. You can just decide what you want to do. Anything you want to do. It's all up to you of whatever you want to mix together. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. And I'll actually put the recipe, the graphic, in the comments so that you can see it. I think it's already in the photos on this page, but if it's not, then I will stick it in the comments so that you have the recipe. So I hope that was helpful, and have a great day.